It is the first law of Newton's, which is called as law of inertia, first law. So what is this inertia means? Inertia, or first of all we discuss what is the first law. You can see here an object, this is the statement, an object continue its state of motion. Okay, na? Continued state of motion. I tell you that we have good figures, so there I can explain easily also. Oh, don't worry. An object continued state of motion unless and until some external force act on it. Okay. So what is the meaning of it? If a body is at rest, now you can see the statement. Continued state of motion. What is the meaning of state of motion? Let us see. State of motion means either at rest. Rest is also state of motion. I am not talking about motion. Usually inability of body to change its motion or rest by itself. Okay, you missed one term, that is called as inability of body to change its motion or rest by itself. Body cannot change itself, its state of motion. Some external force is required. Okay, na? Somebody should apply the force. So either at rest or moving with some speed, moving with some velocity. This we call it as what? This we are calling it as state of motion. State of motion means moving or rest. Rest is also a state of motion. Okay, na? So try to go for this. Okay. So object will continue its state of motion. Object will continue its rest. Continue in rest or continue in motion unless and until some force acting on it. If a force is acting, what does it mean? Ultimately we can write down entire statement into this terms: external forces. Okay, external forces will change the state of motion. Simple. Okay, you can write down in this way. External forces will change the state of motion. That means if any external force is acting on the body, if body is at rest, force is acting, then body will move. If a body is moving, some force is acting, either its motion will change or it may come to rest also. Both the things are there. Okay. So what is the example you can see here? The first diagram is saying that object is at rest. First one, the ball is at rest, it will continue at rest. But in the second case, we are applying the external force. Okay, na? This fellow is kicking the ball, means he is applying some external force. Then the object will start moving. Now this object will continue in its motion unless and until some force is acting again. So the body will continue its motion. Okay, na? Unless and until some force is acting, which is net. Net will try to stop the ball. So net will apply the force. As net is applying the force, then ball will come to rest. Here ball will come to rest because of because of force acting due to net. Understood? Goal post. Ball will come to rest. All of you okay with this? Understood? That means to change the state of motion, some external force is required. Okay. Why we call it as inertia? Yeah. So inertia is proportional to mass. Okay. So as it is a feeling, I can show here. If it is 400 kg, then it will be tough to move the body, and 40 kg it is easy to move. So you can see smile on his face. Here you can see the pain in his face. Okay. But if it is more massive, then we require the more force to move it, because this mass will oppose the change of state of motion. Okay. So that opposing nature of change of state of motion is called as what? Is called as inertia. Inertia means what? Opposing nature of change of state of motion. So if I say like this in physics terms, it is very tough to understand. So that is the meaning of change of state. Best example is morning waking up. So to wake up, it will take some time because already we are in the state of rest, and now waking up means we need to make the body to move. Okay. So then you feel little laziness. That laziness only we call it as inertia. Okay, if you are taking the more time, means you are having the more inertia towards the work. Inertia means opposing nature of change of state of motion. See, this mass will oppose with more more quantity. This object, which is 40 kg object, okay, 40 kg object with oppose with a less force. That's why we require the less force to move it. We require the more force to move it. More force is required to move it. Why? Because it is more massive. It will have more inertia, more opposing nature to the change of state. Rest to move. No? Here, what is the change of state? Rest to motion. Okay, it is change of state is rest to motion. So to move this body, we require more force. To move this body, we require less force because of mass. So that's why we say that inertia is proportional to mass. That all I'm saying that. What is that? Inertia is like in something like a feeling. It's not like a physical quantity. You cannot see it. Okay. Inertia of motion, inertia of direction also you can say. Inertia of direction is nothing but inertia inertia will try to keep the body in the same state of motion. You can write down like this. Inertia always try to keep the body in the same state of motion. Okay, same state of motion. That only we call it as opposing nature. Na? Opposing nature of change of state of motion means it will try to keep the same state of motion. Same state of motion. What does it mean? It means in the morning, early in the morning, you want to sleep only because already you slept for 8 hours. Then your body will continue its sleep. Then inertia will oppose to wake up, to make you wake up. Okay, inertia will oppose to make you wake up. Understood? Getting my point? So it's a feeling. Try to understand. So that's why inertia always try to keep the body in the same state of motion. Inertia will try to keep the body state of motion. Yeah. What is the best example for inertia? Best example for inertia is if a person is getting down from a running bus. From a running bus, person is getting down. Then what happens? If he got down and stand there, then what will happen? He fall down. No? This is a very best example. He will fall down if he stand at the same place. But after getting down from the running bus, what he will do? He will run for some time and then come to rest. Because he is already in the running bus. He is in the running bus means his body is in motion. So because of inertia will try to keep the body in moving only. So if you suddenly come to rest, then inertia won't stay calm. Inertia will push your body in forward direction. So then the person will fall down. Okay, na? Whereas if you are running for some time, then what will happen? Because of friction on the ground, then the body will come to rest because of opposing force. External force will make the body to come to rest. So inertia is proportional to mass. If more massive body, more inertia will be there.